Hello, this is Frank Favaro, president and founder of Serve-Centric Coaching, and I'm super excited to be sponsoring the Undeniable podcast. When we talk about business today, everyone's looking to create an advantage. But how do you find it? Everything is copied with technology. Innovation is hard to come by. We can find it with customer experience. The experience that you provide to your customers and to your employees determines the value you bring to the marketplace. We will create a plan for you that will get your business to the next level. You can find us at www.serve-centric.com. That's serve-centric. Serve, S-E-R-V-E hyphen centric, C-E-N-T-R-I-C.com. And you can reach me personally at 330-715-5361. Thank you.
It's Coach Cimoroni for Blood Time. I have a long-time friend. And Nick, it's just so fantastic for you to be here. It's just really great to see you. Nick Fratantonio, Dr. Nick Fratantonio, welcome to Blood Time.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And good to see you. And it's serendipity that we had to meet again after a long...
Indeed. A long time. You know, you and I wrestled against each other back in the day. You played football on the unofficial Beechwood 7th grade team when my dad was the coach and all that. And you know, so, and I've known, of course, your family, your uncle cut my hair for 30 years or whatever. But Nick, you're an inventor. You're an innovator, and it came out of some really beautiful thought. You know, I was watching that, the Sound of Silence, or no, the Freedom, what was it? Freedom of Silence or whatever. I don't know what the hell that movie was who was the guy who played Christ? Oh, what the heck was his name? Anyhow, the actor, you know, great memory, right? He really hit home for me with this trafficking of humans. Mm-hmm. And you've come up with an idea of how to stop that, or at least help stop that. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, as a dentist of 40 years,
exactly.
If I were to told you that I have discovered a way where your tooth can save your life.
Yes.
Is that a little mind-blowing?
It is.
So my journey, I can tell you a little bit about the story. It's very brief.
Yeah.
But where I started and where I ended is interesting.
Jim Caviezel, by the way. That's it. Jim Caviezel, and he played in that movie. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
It comes
Matt, to you when you
right. You know, it's like what the hell?
It.
This is what it means to be 66.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
So when I found out and discovered that 35 million people go missing, abducted, or trafficked every year, most of which are children.
Yikes.
I thought to myself, how can that possibly be today?
Right.
Especially since they have all these personal safety wearables out there.
Right.
That exist.
Yeah.
So I felt that was pretty ineffective. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
And a lot
because they could be taken off, right? You know what I mean? Or lost or whatever.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
And so there was a big discrepancy there.
Okay.
But so some of these people that I've had experience with in my practice were my people, and they were families.
Yeah.
And I cared for them and I served them.
Sure.
This was a huge concern for me.
Of course, yeah.
Because it was disturbing.
Well, didn't you also do forensic dentistry for murders or lost people that were found and they couldn't identify them, and so that maybe gave you some idea to do that, right? Yeah.
That is a sobering experience when you have to identify somebody by their records.
Yes.
So I thought to myself, you know, in fact, it was a huge concern, but it made me angry.
Yeah.
And it made me angry enough to help find a solution to this human catastrophe.
Yeah.
That's another silent disaster that people don't talk about, but it's very prevalent, and it's pandemic. So I thought we got to get to work on this. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
And here's where I took a sharp turn in my discovery. I also learned that, like you said, all those wearables, personal safety wearables out there are accessories. They're baubles. They dangle.
Yeah.
So like you said.
Yeah, or watches or whatever. You know.
They could be lost, missing, left behind, and easily removed.
Of course.
And I thought, so my aha moment was, we're dentists. We place these dental veneers, tooth veneers for decades.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we put a microprocessor, which is miniaturized and it's a nano technology, embedded in these ceramic or composite veneers and bonded onto the tooth?
Wow.
And I thought, this is so doable.
Right.
And so that was my aha moment.
Yeah.
And we got to work on it.
Yeah.
And so the competitive advantage of this is it's now the smallest personal wearable safety device.
Wow.
You can't see it. Nobody knows you have it except your custodian or a parent or a legal guardian.
Right. And your dentist, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Would the dentist be in that chain of command?
You know what?
Yeah.
They are part of it, but I'm going directly to consumers first.
Gotcha.
And I'll tell you why that is, because 50% of parents already track their kids.
Yeah.
And that's
so would that be tracked on an app to the parent's cell phone or whatever? Okay, laptop. Okay, great.
So we've got the software app. That's all developed.
Yeah.
The second advantage is it's the most secure. Being that it's semi-permanent, you can't, like all the other wearables, can't be lost, stolen, left behind, or removed.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So that's another advantage. And then it has computing power. It's not just a electromagnetic like beeper.
Yeah.
It's got computing power.
Gotcha.
And finally, it doesn't have to be charged. It charges itself. It's self-charging.
Wow.
So we're going to utilize this ambient Bluetooth energy that's around us all.
Yeah.
Harness that.
And just take your own physical, electricity, right? And wow.
So
that's
Pete,
crazy.
this is going to change the personal wearable industry.
Absolutely.
But the most important thing is this is going to save millions of lives.
Yes.
And how we can establish that is measure moving forward. The wearable industry has their revenues is doubling every 6 years.
Sure.
But the people that are missing and abducted and trafficked is going up and up and up every year. So
look what's happening at our border. My God.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And there's so much money in it.
Yes.
In the trafficking of humans.
Yes.
And I was reading, preparing for this interview with you, that they're saying that there's more slavery today than there's ever been in recorded history. There's more slavery. So what is going on? Right. So let's take me through that. So the parent or the custodian or the partner, tracks this. Is there like a connection with law enforcement? What's your vision on that?
Oh,
so how do we go get that person, right?
Let me tell you something. There's so many uses for this. I'm starting with human assets and people.
Sure.
Okay. But then there's pets. There's military instead of wearing dog tags.
Right.
There's corporate instead of wearing lanyards to get in a building.
Gotcha.
You just scan yourself or walk through a threshold.
Yep.
Cryptocurrency. You could keep your wallet, all your vital, that 30-digit
key
code. Insurance companies can insure people that are of high value in the community or,
high net worth people. Yeah.
It goes on and on. You could do artwork. You could put this in a piece of artwork and not destroy art or an article or an asset or equipment or material. It goes on and on.
Right.
So the beauty of it is, the information's not on your tooth. That's just the segue to the cloud, which has all the information. So the phone can geofence a child. So let's say it's a yard and they breach that geofence, automatically right away they're off the grid or out of school.
Right.
Now you can expedite search and rescue. Where are they? Right away, so that it really thwarts somebody being taken swiftly, because that's what they got to do, put people in swiftly and get away. But we can now track them. And let's say they break the geofence and they're really somewhere far away or in a remote area in Wyoming or something. this also is able to ping other smartphones in the area that don't have the app yet.
Okay.
They could just say like an Amber Alert, or you piggyback with Amber Alert or Apple and say, listen, we're going to help this young girl, brown eyes, brown hair, what age, and they can help. So anyway, that's how this thing's going to be like a little brush fire, where it starts with the person that's responsible for you, parents and custodians, but we can find anybody virtually anywhere.
It's so amazing how quickly that happens today. Right.
Oh.
You know, I mean, Saturday Night Live just did a skit. I don't know if you saw it, where they have these 22-year-old knucklehead, you know, college girls sitting there on the phone looking on their Instagram and cold case files. Okay. And so these old time, you know, cops are like, where are we going to find? Oh, found them in like 30 seconds. I just looked at his Facebook post or his mother's Facebook.
They could find anything.
Yeah, found them. You know, it's like, okay, we're done. We have no more cold case files. So that's really cool that's happening. And so what are we looking at, Nick, to really get this into the marketplace? What's your first, you know, line of entry? It's
going to be... I've already tried. This is a startup now. I've been working on this for 3 years.
Oh, God bless you, man. I know the feeling with my avocado company. Yeah, it's a year and a half.
Every day.
Yeah.
5-6 hours.
It's a grind, bro. Yeah. And you got to slug it out.
So I went, being me.
Right.
I went big time. I go to the top.
Yep.
So I call Apple, Garmin, Samsung, Motorola, etc.
Yeah.
It was COVID time.
Yep.
People weren't even answering the phone, let alone.
Yeah.
I couldn't get anybody. And I literally reached out to hundreds. So then I thought to myself, let's go organic again. Let's go where the boots are on the ground. The parents.
Yeah.
The mothers that are already doing this, the fathers, geriatric, people with Alzheimer's, dementia, hospitals. So we're going to go straight to the consumer first, because then the big boys maybe will take notice at some point when we make some headway and some
distribution, right? So distribution, you know, and I know what you're saying, because cough pops. I don't know if you remember cough pops.
Yeah,
okay?
for
the
sure.
Same
You
way.
and your brother-in-law.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jimmy and I, God bless, and Carla, my sister. And so we got distribution, and matter of fact, Walgreens cut us off. CVS then bought us, and then Walgreens bought us.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't. And then, of course, we got all these articles about caregivers giving it to their kids and giving, you know, aunts, uncles, grandmothers, you know, babysitters, whatever. And so you get that groundswell, and you cannot be ignored. I love that. I love that take.
We didn't have a choice in the matter, because
Gotcha.
our timing wasn't great.
Right.
But our timing was really great, because the technology today, we can make this thing.
Yep.
It's as big as your pinky fingernail.
I love it.
And 4 years ago, we couldn't do that. So I talked to a lot of engineers all around the world, and these guys are like, there's no way, and there's this. I'm like, listen, but we found people like you, drive, determination.
Absolutely.
And so now we'll go right to the consumers direct, social media, and it's a consumer kit. So we're going to mail this to them. And you'll have your serial number on your microchip.
I'll be darned. Yep.
And then you just download the app and you're good to go. And then it takes 90 seconds to install this. If somebody's not comfortable doing that, go to the dentist.
Yeah.
The dentist doesn't even have to do that. The technician could probably just
like a dental assistant or something
They'll
like that.
charge you a little bit more, but so be it.
Who cares, right? I mean, you know, if you're getting that done. So is there any HIPAA issues at all if the dentist does that?
Other than the usual HIPAA stuff, you don't discuss anybody. So this information is encrypted.
Gotcha. Okay.
Security, again, can anything be hacked?
Yeah, of course.
Anything can be hacked.
Yeah.
But you take the necessary 1, 2 steps, 3 steps, encryption. You know, that's all we can do.
Right.
The FDA, we're exempt from the FDA because it's not a food, it's not a drug.
Yeah.
And then finally, the FCC, they do need to okay it because they need to okay everything that is electronic.
Right.
The good news is the electromagnetic wavelength that comes from this is so far below any DNA molecular interruption.
Sure.
So it's not damaging.
Thank God.
So
that's fantastic.
we got some good things, and we're on the horizon.
What's the name of it?
It's called Identify.
Identify.
Yep. And my website's identifyme.com.
Okay. I love that.
So, yes. So
Yeah, that's
I'm
great.
pretty excited, and this is going to launch, and then we're going to do a beta test.
Okay.
So we do have a local dental practice here that I'm dentist emeritus, but I don't do anything.
I understand. Yeah.
But we'll have a
your daughter's running it, right?
She is.
That's right. What's her name?
Brienne, Dr. Brienne.
Awesome. Out in Chesterland?
Chesterland Family Dental Care.
Okay.
So we'll take a little sampling of patients that want to be part of this beta test.
Yep.
We'll install it ourselves just because we want to know every detail and see what needs to be refined before this hits the market.
I love it.
So,
well, just as a personal aside, you were my dentist until you retired.
Yes, I was. And you're in good shape, by the way. I love your smile.
Yeah, it's not so bad. Not so bad, and like getting knocked in the teeth a few times, right?
Yeah.
So, you've got this ready to go, and it's a fantastic idea, and it's so human. That humanistic viewpoint is rare today, and I love that, and that's why I was excited to have you in. Plus, I knew that you're just a great dude.
Thank you.
So it's fantastic.
Thank you.
But that didn't happen by accident, right?
No.
So you had a lot of people in your life, high quality people, starting with dad.
Yes,
starting with uncle, starting with the family, mom. That just really gave you a lot of love. Mm-hmm. But man, you also, from high school on, you met some really cool people that came into your life, right? And, the Chanel Firebirds, I wish you would have come to Beechwood because we would have had a blast on the wrestling team, but you went to Chanel, which started the dynasty. Your generation, our generation started the Chanel dynasty with another Hall of Famer, Kerry Volkman, right? Was your head coach.
John Carroll.
Absolutely. Well, Hall of Famer, right?
That's right.
And late Catholic after that. Mm-hmm. And so I really want to talk about that in our next segment. But before I do that, when are you launching? Do we have any idea when we're launching?
I think this will be launched by June.
Awesome. Oh, so we're going to be launching around the same time. I love that.
We'll have a party.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. We're gonna have guac, and I'll put that implant.
We'll have a big party, or we're going to learn something.
Or just both. Yeah. And the scars. We got some scars, but they healed, and we're moving forward. So, but I want to talk about your history in the second segment when we come back.
Sure.
So we'll be right back. It's Coach Cimoroni with Dr. Nick Fratantonio for Blood Time.
Infinite Search Solutions, recruitment and placement search services at its finest. Northeast Ohio's premier, easy, fast, and simple way to find the great and perfect candidate that you deserve. Matt Burns and his incredible team at Infinite Search Solutions are terrific. We are proud to have them as a sponsor. Reach out to Matt at 440-249-0485 or at their website, www.in-finite.com.
We want to thank my good friend Kevin Goodman, the managing partner at Blue Bridge Networks, as our newest partner and sponsor. Please reach out to them for all of your managed IT services needs, cloud computing needs, data center services requirements, and all infrastructure solutions services. Kevin Goodman and Blue Bridge Networks. Seek them out at 1-866-990-2583. That's 1-866-990-2583 and at info@bbnllc.com. And we're back with Dr. Nick Fratantonio and that brilliant idea, and that's going to come to the marketplace in June for saving lives. Thank you. But there was people that put you on a trajectory that may have saved your life. Maybe not, I don't want to be too, dramatic or hyperbolic, you know what
dramatic.
I mean? But
to me.
Right. Yeah. And we've had this conversation. We had a beautiful lunch about a month ago. Mm-hmm. And I love the guy. I actually coached with him for 1 year over at John Carroll, Kerry Volkman, the Hall of Famer. Yes. He was at Chanel and he was your coach. Tell me what Kerry meant to you. And what did he do for you?
I have to tell you, I was on a not so good trajectory as a teenager and even a young person.
Okay.
my dad raised us single-handed because my mom had passed.
Right. She died early. That's
young.
right. Yes.
And,
that's right. Yeah.
So I watched her suffer from breast cancer, and she succumbed to that probably when I was about 10. And by the time I was 13, she was pretty much gone.
Yeah.
And I had brothers and sisters.
Sure.
So I had an anger issue.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I had some ADD
Okay.
going on that,
of course, undiagnosed. Nobody knew what the hell that was. You were just a hyper mother. You know what I mean? Sit down.
couldn't sit in my desk.
Yeah.
Go to the principal's office, the whole thing. But anyway, I'll keep this brief.
I got you.
But so the teenage years weren't. I wasn't applying myself. As a matter of fact, I would go out of my way to sometimes be difficult and rebellious.
Well, it's attention seeking too.
Yeah.
I want mommy's love.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? I want some love.
Well, and why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Why do you take my mother? Yeah.
Right.
Exactly right. I get
And
it.
that's a whole nother version. But
Yeah.
so we graduated at Jesu, and the football team there, which I was a part of, we
Great,
got
the Bulldogs.
drafted. Yeah, we got drafted to go to Chanel, so we all went there.
Okay. All right.
Well, half the team didn't make it through high school.
Sure.
I was on the chopping block there with the Dean of Men. It was an all boys school.
Sure.
And I joined the wrestling team as a freshman there. Knew nothing about it because Carrie approached me and said, "Hey, are you interested in doing?" I'm like, "Wrestling?"
Yeah.
I go,
Yeah.
"I don't wrestle."
That's right.
We do other things. We're not wrestling.
We're not wrestlers.
And he said, no, come join us. Well, so he had a team back then. There was only one team, and it was the varsity team.
Sure.
So all the seniors that he recruited and all the freshmen were all together at the same time.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So the little guys got their asses kicked.
Sure. Yeah.
So we were crash test dummies.
Baptism of fire. Right. Yeah.
But there were times I had to start too because
Sure. Yeah.
on a varsity and I had no experience.
Absolutely.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that was the beginning of molding me. But back to the chopping block at the Dean of Men. So 4 more guys on my football team it's senior year now.
Yeah.
Fast forward, and these guys all picked up the phone and they were expelled, and I was last in line. And he goes, "You're done." He goes, "Pick up the phone, call your dad." I said, "I'm not doing that."
Right.
So I can't do that.
Gotcha.
Meanwhile, Kerry Volkman's walking by the Dean of Men's room.
Yeah.
He looks in. He goes, "Fran." He goes, "What's up?"
Yeah.
I said, "This isn't good." I said, "All these guys are out.
Yeah.
Senior year, you got to go graduate in another school, find another school."
Yeah.
And he walked in, he goes, "Oh, no." He goes, "I'll talk to Moose Maslowski, who was our dean."
Okay.
God rest his soul.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And that's what happened. So Kerry took me the tutelage, kicked my ass every day. I had to show up early, go home late, made me do everything. He wrestled me every practice, beat the piss out of me.
Of course. Yeah.
And woke me up to maturing, responsibility, accountability, determination, individuality.
Sure.
No, you're only getting a life what you do.
Right.
And how you do it.
Right.
But the team too. That was the other aspect.
Yeah.
So wrestling being very individual, it's only 2 guys on the mat, you and your opponent.
Absolutely.
Well, but you got a team that's counting on you for team points.
Big
so
time.
we did everything together. You got it. It couldn't have been better.
Beautiful combination. Yeah.
So then I did go to John Carroll University on probation.
Yeah.
So I graduated my senior year.
I went there. We graduated.
We had a great crew.
We did.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I was on probation. If I didn't get a B, I'm out. So I found something I loved, which was biology.
There you go.
And with a minor in physics and chemistry.
Dentistry and being a barber, there's a lot of right? There's a lot
where that comes from?
It's
you get a haircut and they'd pull your tooth.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah. I mean, my Armenian side, a lot of barbers were dentists back in the old
country. They would do a lot of things. Take your bets.
Exactly. Bookies, barber, dentist. It's fantastic. It's a one-shop
You're right. So I had good hands. I had good perception.
Gotcha.
And I made the honors list. My dad was like horrified. He goes, did you somehow alter these records? I'm like,
who are you paying off, man? Who's in book with you?
He was amazing. And that was my dad's my first hero. I got to say, because
he was the best.
The guy stood on his feet 12 hours a day. well over 60 years.
Yeah.
Barely took a day off.
Yeah.
And man, that was my role model.
He was cool too,
and
dude.
he raised us. Yeah,
he was cool.
He wouldn't come home till late at night because he worked 2 jobs. So he'd do his barbershop and then he'd have something else. But anyway, so my dad, clearly.
Yeah.
Carrie was a huge vector. That's really, without that, I don't know where I
That
would have
conversation
been. Right.
changes your life with that moose dude, right?
That's why it's dramatic.
Yeah,
this is why I
exactly,
tell you.
right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when your life pivots and
Yeah.
takes a sharp turn like we talked about, my idea,
Yeah.
it's for a reason. Those people show up at the right time.
And they give a shit. They truly care about you.
Absolutely.
Because they got to put themselves on the line, right?
Absolutely.
He had to put his reputation on the line saying, I got this kid under my wing.
Exactly.
Phew, man, I'm telling you,
stuff.
that's a leap of faith. It's not a leap of faith, but it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's really cool. Yeah.
They create habits in you and help you grow and develop to be the person that you're meant to be.
Right.
And because I look back all the time on my journey and go, that was a huge turn. That was a huge turn. The rest were straight lines, either up or down.
Sure.
There wasn't in my life, it wasn't flat lines. It was either up or down quickly. Just my personality. I usually immerse myself, whatever I'm doing. Whether it's good or bad, in a good.
Well,
but
so far so good. So far so good. It's 66.
So far,
right? Yeah, absolutely.
And that was the other thing. And then one day, while we were going to John Carroll, I met a gentleman in the barber shop because I was at my dad's shop talking to some people.
Sure.
And he said, what do you do? He goes, I'm a children's dentist. I go, really?
Wow.
He goes, well, what are you doing today? I go, nothing. I'm taking a day off of school today.
Okay. Okay.
So he worked at Rainbow's Babies and Children's pediatric clinic.
Wow.
So I Christmas vacation, went down there every day and volunteered and watched these guys work on handicapped and special needs kids. Wow. It was
eye-opening, right?
That was another huge vector.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to do this.
God bless you.
So at John Carroll.
What's the guy's name? Let's identify.
His name was Chuck.
Okay.
And he was from West Virginia, so he was just doing an internship and a residency.
Gotcha.
Down there.
Wow.
And Irving Tapper was the head of the department.
He was legendary. Yeah.
Legendary. Anyway, so then I thought, okay, that's when I decided I'm going to dental school, not medical school or whatever else I was going to do with the sciences. But best decision I ever made.
And you went to Case?
I went to Case Western Reserve.
Fabulous school.
I got accepted into a couple other schools, but I'm like, I'm a homeboy. I needed to work and make some money. I'm like, you know what? Yeah. Let's do it here.
But what a fabulous education, my God!
Yep.
And then also too the connection you make at Case, right? You
Absolutely.
I mean? Was there a professor there that impressed you?
You know, I have to say, at that time it was different. You know, it was like the old school. You do as I say.
Tell you.
It wasn't progressive. I mean, it was a progressive. They were considered top in the country,
right? But it was still that militaristic.
Yes.
I'm the boss. Yeah.
It was a different. Most of these guys were older versus young.
Sure. Yeah.
But no disrespect to anybody. They molded me as well. They made me a great dentist.
Absolutely, you are.
And I retired. For a reason. So I repurposed number one to this new thing. But long story short, I wanted to be like an athlete, Pete.
Yeah.
I wanted to go out on top where I could still see my hands.
Jimmy
don't
Brown,
shake.
baby. Jimmy Brown,
and
right?
you know what? It was the best decision I made. And people were like, how are you enjoying retirement? You're sitting around. I go, no. I go,
that's right.
That's the next change in my life.
Exactly.
And now I'm immersed in that. And it's just incredible. So far.
I love this. You know, I had the opportunity to interview Dean Adler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And, you know,
love Dean.
Right. Dean's phenomenal, right? Amazing. Michael Freeman. Yeah. Brilliant guy. And he said, there's no retire. I retire when I'm in the ground.
Exactly.
I mean, there's no retirement. Right. So you just transitioned. That's all you did. You know what I mean? I feel the same way. I mean, I'm working harder, crazier, more pressure than I've ever had my entire life. And I love it.
Right.
I mean, there's days I'm a mother Hubbard, you know what I mean? But I feel what you're saying. Yeah. And I think that the beauty of our generation at this point in our lives, we have that ability, but we also have that old school, I'm not going to quit.
Right.
You know, because somebody said to me, well, what's going to stop you from doing this? You know, with the avocado. I said, the grave.
Right.
That's it. Exactly. That's my commitment to it. This is my Colonel Sanders moment. And if you read his story, he didn't make it till he was 72 years old. Exactly. He failed. He had a failure at 62 because they put a freeway by his restaurant that was selling his chicken, and it went belly up. So he got his recipe and he went around to other restaurants and started selling those recipes to the other restaurants.
Yeah.
And that's how he made Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's crazy. Yeah. But you know who the big guy was that really actually helped him? Dave Thomas, the Wendy's guy.
Yeah.
He was the guy who created the bucket.
Ah, that's interesting.
Think about that, right? The confluence of minds coming together. So the beauty of why I'm bringing that up, and I'm finding the same thing. I'm finding some very talented people surrounding me. Is I know that's happening to you, and you're going to see an evolution of your product a year from now. You're like, holy God, I didn't even. Oh my God, this is, you know what I'm saying? So, and the applications that you're already thinking about are brilliant. Yeah, it's really cool.
Thank you.
It's really cool. So wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much,
Primo,
right? Put you on that trajectory.
in my opinion.
Well, and Nikki, what would you say to young wrestlers that are coming out today and, what about the sport and about the coach aspect of it? What would you say to them? What's possible?
I couldn't endorse it enough because of your and my journey.
Right.
They turn out a good product. They turn out good people doing good things.
Yeah.
And they're just good in nature.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Right.
You get in, which you get out, what you put in.
Right.
And so, if you're going to sit there and dilly-dally or quit, it's not going to work.
Right. Right.
And I never use the word failure. I don't like that word. It's you don't get your outcome.
Okay.
So even if I don't get my outcome,
right.
I'm going to learn something, and then I'm not going to quit. You just pivot. Okay, what do I need to do to get around that?
Right.
Because that's the only way we're at.
Yeah.
It's because we went either through something or around something or over something.
Or under. Sometimes you got to dig a tunnel.
So
right. So I love that. I love that. And Nick, where can people find you? Where can if they want to invest in you or they want to help you get, distribution, or how can they find, because this is so brilliant.
I would love for people to be a part of saving millions of lives.
Of course.
And the only way to do that is to adopt this better mousetrap that we created.
Right.
And my website again is open now.
Yeah,
okay.
Please say
it's identifyme.com.
Okay. Identifyme.com. Beautiful. And at the end of the day, we like to leave, with all this nonsense that came, and you said a few inspirational words, but, all this nonsense of the virus, right? And now we've come out of it, and some of this stuff that's really blossoming, and some of these ideas that are really proliferating. Leave the audience with something that you'd like to say about what this you hope to have happen, or what is the ultimate goal for you with this?
Well, I would discount a lot of what you see on the media. That's number one.
Gotcha.
It's very sensationalization.
Right.
And it's scary, but that's what sells.
Of course.
But I want to let you know that, evolution always evolves for the better. Always. You just have to find that.
I love that.
And so ride that wave.
And so this is
because this is the greatest country in the world.
Oh yeah.
Period.
Absolutely.
I don't care what people are saying or what's going on there.
Right.
And the naysayers, they don't get it yet.
Yeah.
Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Yeah. There's people like us, you and me, Pete.
Yeah.
We know better.
You know what? I'll leave you with this. I think a lot of that comes from self-loathing. And I know that you have found that journey that you have self-love.
You have to.
And because of that, and I also say, you exude confidence, but it's not arrogance.
Well, I get that from the folks.
Exactly. Humble and grateful and self-love. And you were given love and you give love. Amen. And so that I think really ultimately is what this product is about the love of our fellow human.
You got it.
God bless you, bro.
Thank you.
Love you, man.
All right. Love
Dr. Nick, God bless. Thank you for coming, baby. This is Coach Cimoroni for Blood Time. We are all blood, and I mean it. This episode, love to all.
I just love the mission at Edwin's. My friend Brandon Krastowski at Edwin's Leadership and Restaurant Institute brings a unique approach at giving formerly incarcerated adults a foundation in the hospitality industry. What a marvelous mission. Thank you, Brandon, for bringing these wonderful people back into productive society. Every human being, regardless of their past, has the right to a fair and equal future. Give them a try because their food is magnificent, their service is first rate, and Brandon is a true Cleveland light. EdwinsRestaurant.org. We love you.